Last time on Dragon Ball New Age, with Vegeta figuring out the weakness to the illusion Goku, he's able to make quick work of him. But the battle is not over yet, as the demon changes his form from his daughter to the Saiyan himself, to offer a glimpse of what Vegeta is soon to become. Returning to his Super Saiyan form, the demon appears to sense something he failed to before. But not giving him a chance to discover what's happened, the real Vegeta questions if he's ready. Not only has the Saiyan's combat strength greatly increased, but his Riki too. He wonders if it's possible he could be hiding more. He intends to find out. Eating Vegeta's most recent attack, he decides to reveal his findings. When his prey here changes into this form, his Riki increases dramatically. While this indeed caught him off guard, it will take far more than this to defeat him. Our hero wonders what happened. He just shrugged off that blast like nothing. He doesn't seem to be getting any weaker. He ponders the possibility he has done something else he has seen before, inquiring if he absorbed his attack. Perking his ears, the fiend compliments his foe catches on quickly. Ki is only a byproduct of Riki after all. But all this means for the protagonist is that he can't use energy blasts anymore. Looking at himself, the demon figures out how to access Super Saiyan himself, likely through the memories of his victim. He mentions how invigorating this transformation is, a surge of Riki, though hasn't taken his eyes off the battle ahead, asking Vegeta if he's ready to continue. But before, he still can't get over his newly adapted power. It's everything he had hoped for. He had thought it impossible a single mortal could bring him so close to his goal. The Riki required is now closer than he ever imagined. The prince is furious to be faced again with another energy leech. Insulting his foe, it's the most pathetic warriors who can only stack the odds by such means. However, the demon states he will do whatever it takes to win, and it won't be long now. This combined power will soon be unbeatable, and he will become whole once more. But for now, there is still much needed, so if Vegeta would kindly just surrender his full power. Though the Saiyan has had his fill of energy thieves, and besides, he has enough left in reserve to claim victory in this battle. Now that he's aware of this technique, he'll get nothing further. His foe doesn't feel the same. Unleashing an attack he calls Demonic Art, Dark Shadow Puppeteer. Vegeta thinks he's come out unscathed, completely unaware of what the attack did. When he realizes his shadow is gone, the demon proclaims his shadow now belongs to him. He needn't dirty his own hands any further. After all, the Saiyan won't have time to fight him, while he's so busy fighting himself. The shadow begins to take form. We can safely assume what it will turn into. But the prince concernedly questions what he's doing and what's happening. Yet another Vegeta steps onto the battlefield. The true iteration grows frustrated with all the cloning going on. Almost ironically, the demon chuckles at the unique situation, the shade versus the original. He wonders what happens when the shadow is better than its maker. Gaining his composure, Vegeta utters he's had enough. These games have gone on too long. This thing may be his shadow, but that's all it is, a shadow. And no shadow will ever eclipse himself, especially since it's only a Super Saiyan. And he's yet to meet a Super Saiyan who can beat a Super Saiyan 2. But this is what the demon was planning all along. He knew fighting his own shadow would bring out the strength he's been hiding. Now all he has to do is keep applying pressure until his full strength is revealed. Ripping the shadow in half. Even his real foe is surprised. Vegeta asks if he still wants to play games or if he's ready to fight, but the villain lets out a chuckle. He's impressed. He didn't think Vegeta had that kind of killer instinct. Still, a point of advice: when you kill someone, make sure they're dead. The prince figures he should have expected another sneak attack. He grumbles if it would kill him, for once, to fight him face to face like a... When he realizes two shadows stand in front of him, the fight raged on in typical fashion, Vegeta eventually having to summon the power of Super Saiyan 3 to combat the now dozens of clones. No matter how many the warrior takes down, they just keep coming. And it appears they're getting stronger. They might look like regular Super Saiyans, but he can barely keep up even as a Super Saiyan 3. The lead doppelganger chortles he could have prevented all of this, had Vegeta simply followed the path of least resistance and let himself be taken over. This agony didn't have to be. But Vegeta's too proud, so now the demon will have to take his body by force. And once he does, he'll spend every waking moment breaking his spirit, breaking what it means to be Vegeta, screaming he can never win this fight. Although quite successful, the prince knows he can't keep up this rate forever. He's eventually going to exhaust himself and these things will overwhelm him. If he wants to stop these puppets, he's going to have to sever the strings. Did you really think it was going to be that easy? Getting caught off guard, the new test is to merely get close to the puppet master with all his creations lurking around. Two of which commends Vegeta for thinking outside the box. Why go after the troops when he could go after the general? It's just too bad he's so vastly outnumbered. He's even cocky enough to offer up a hint. He might stand a chance if he were to eliminate all the shade puppets at once. But if he wanted to do that, interrupting, Vegeta already knows where he's going with this. It's merely a ploy to get him to show his full power, and he's sick of this broken record repeating himself. The villain, caught in his charade, figures fine, if that's the way he wants it. He supposes his little friend here will simply have to suffer. Shouting he's had enough! What is... Vegeta indeed decides to unleash his full power. Or at least his most powerful transformation. But in freeing himself and seemingly destroying all the clones, he begins to think maybe it did him in as well. Then again, even when only inches away, it was a difficult signature to read. And if he did beat him, why is he still here? Not fooled, he tells his foe to drop the act and to show himself. He knows he's still around. In doing so, the entity admits the animals of Earth, namely Vegeta, are almost intelligent, aren't they? Who questions where the fiend is hiding, though his counterpart takes offense to this claim, urging him not to mistake patience for cowardice. The demon is far from hiding, as one cannot hide when one is everything, leading our hero to believe he would only do such a thing to get another chance at stealing his energy, which isn't the plan at all. In fact, he questions what the prince thinks this entire thing has been about. Perhaps he gave his intelligence a little too much credit moments ago. But if he's not trying to, then what? Explaining. The demon can absorb the Reiki of weaker beings directly, though a powerful being such as Vegeta requires him to inhabit the body of the host to absorb it. When all of this first began today, he couldn't possess the Saiyan outright. His spirit, his pride, they were way too strong. He needed to weaken that spirit first. That's what this has been for. Once that's done, Vegeta will no longer be able to fight him off, and then he will take him. This news naturally infuriates our hero, but forcing this fight, weakening his spiritual form, all it took was a little push. By making him battle physically, the prince burned himself out a lot quicker. The entity guesses he had to burn up quite a bit of power to kill all those shade puppets. Realizing this was set up from the beginning, it's only now Vegeta sees he's been tricked. This monster laid it all out from the start, and he waltzed right into his trap like some kind of fool. The opposition then taunts our protagonist to not think he's done anything to slow him down either. Taking the Saiyan's form was all part of the plan. But to himself, form in general is meaningless. And here, where his own magic power is limitless, he is everywhere, and one with everything. Beginning to make his move, Vegeta wonders what's going on. As what can only be described as a monster forms from the darkness. It laughs.
What do you think of that, mortal?
The Saiyan inquires what this is and what the heck is he? The creature is fast to answer. He is the personification of darkness. He has existed since the stars were mere infants. It is from he that all fear, nightmares, and evil are born. Darker than all night and older than all light, the eternal, incorruptible evil. The great king of all demons. The one known as Aladdin.
Now you're mine! What's this? Seems as though your spirit has grown too weak to keep up with me. It's time to end this little game.
Now this is more like it! As it seems Vegeta's fortitude has finally run out, what is the demon Aladdin's plans for our world? Will he merely keep snuffing out lives one by one, or keep good on his threat of going directly after Bra?